So you want to learn how to edit inside of Premiere Pro. Congrats, but I do have to warn you about something. Learning how to edit is awesome. Nothing beats being creative and taking ideas in your mind and making them a physical thing. And whether you're creating for fun, want to create for clients and make it a career, or even building your own social media presence, Premiere Pro is a great tool for that. The downside, however, is that once you know how to edit, you're never going to want to stop and you're always going to be getting better and better and wanting to top your last video. I've been sitting at this desk for the last 6 years doing just that, so point proven. Jokes aside, that's not actually a downside. Just learning how to use a new software that opens up a world of creativity is super exciting, and I'm glad that you are here to learn. I personally am a video editor, it's my full-time job, and I started this channel to help people just like you learn to create videos. This video is a bare bones walkthrough of everything that you need to know inside of Premiere Pro so that you can start working on your first project. Part of me wants to make this a whole series of opening up Premiere Pro for the first time and working our way all the way down to how to create videos that generate millions of views. So if you're interested in that, let me know in the comments. And if this video does well, we might just do that. But without further ado, let's learn Premiere Pro. When you first open up Premiere, you are going to see this screen. Think of this as the home screen. This is where we can start new projects or pick up where we left off on old ones. But there's really only 3 things that we want to look at on the screen. Up here in the top left, we have new project, open project, and here in the middle we have all the most recent projects that we worked on. You probably will not have anything here as you probably haven't worked on anything yet, but as you start projects, this is where they will pop up. But in this case, we're creating a new project, so we want to go to new project. And this is going to pop up this window where we can title our project and pick where we save it. The name really doesn't matter. Essentially, all it is to you is a reference to know what project it is. So you can title it whatever you want. It's really not that big of a deal. So I'll title it Premiere Pro 101. And I usually leave the location just set to default, but you can pick wherever this saves to. And then all we need to do is press create. And now we are greeted with our project. So this is essentially how we build videos. And there's really only 7 things that you look at when you're editing that we're going to go over today. It might seem a little bit more complex than what it actually is, and that's what we're going to break down. The first thing we need to talk about is this window right here. So real quick, I have a custom workspace in Premiere Pro, so yours might look a little bit different, but generally should still be the same. Things might just be in a different place for you. And if you don't see anything that I talk about, if you go up to window, whatever it is, it just might not have a check mark next to it, and you want to make sure that it does. So if I talk about anything and you don't have it, just make sure you click on it and then you will then see it. But the first thing that we need to talk about is our project bin. I don't know if the bin is the actual technical term for it, but that's how I refer to it. But this is how we import footage, assets, music, whatever it is that we need. And so without footage, we have nothing to create. So this is our first step. So in this bin, you can right click and then hit import, but we also have nothing in here, so we can just import media. And from here, you can find whatever it is you are looking to import. But for me, honestly, what I find easier is if you go into the library of your computer, I honestly just drag it into the timeline sometimes, but occasionally it won't let me do that. So what I do is I just drag and drop it into the media bin. So you can kind of pick and choose which way you want to do it. It really doesn't matter. That's just the way I like to do it. I find it to be a little bit faster and I have no issues with it. So that's just what I do. So now that we have our footage imported, it is time to focus on the timeline. This is where the magic happens. This is essentially the building blocks in how we create our video. When you're editing, about 90% of the time, you are going to be working on the timeline. So I have some clips imported and let's bring them in. I just have a few random clips that I want. I held shift to select them all, and then we can just click and drag them in. And to zoom in on the timeline and move around, you have these 2 little dots on both sides as well as this gray bar. So I can shrink this down to get closer on the timeline or move this around. But what you can see with this import is that it broke it up into 2 sections, the top and the bottom. The top is the video file and the bottom is the audio. So in this top section that we can see, anything we change up here is going to be visual. So anything that you see in the video. And then anything that we change here in this bottom half is strictly the audio. So if you have like music or sound effects, they're going to go down there. So now we have clips imported. We can just see them up here. I like to call it the viewer. So super straightforward. You're just watching the video back. We can hit spacebar to play and pause. That's easier than having to press the play button every time. And then here we have the playhead, and we can just drag this around to move around through our footage. But we have the footage imported on the timeline. It is now time to edit. So here on the left, we have what's called the toolbar. And for complete beginners, there's really only a few tools that you absolutely need to know. The very first one is what we're on. This is the selection tool, and the keybind for this is also set to V. Keybinds are huge if you're new to Premiere. It makes editing way easier. It's just something you kind of have to learn over time and get used to. So say we're on a different tool tool, I can just hit V and we're back in the selection tool. Little tip for you. But with the selection tool, we can click on our clips. We can select multiple if we want by holding down shift. We can move clips around. This is a very common tool that you're going to be using. So say I want to make this the last clip, I can just move this to the back, select all three, and then move them up. I actually want this one to be the middle one. So I'm just going to move those and then move it all up. But we have our clips in the timeline, we have them in the order that we want. Now it's actually time to make some changes. So outside of the selection tool, the next most common one that you're going to use is the razor tool, which the keybind is set to C. And this is what allows us to cut clips. So moving this forward, say I don't want this beginning part, I can cut it there. And then I want to leave a few seconds and I don't want the rest of those. I can then just select both clips and then delete them. I believe the default key is delete on your keyboard or backspace. I'm not too positive because I actually have a mouse with some buttons on it and I have a keybind set to my delete key. So if you do have some buttons on your mouse, definitely recommend setting some keybinds there, as it just makes editing a whole lot easier. And then moving on to this next clip, I only want to be grabbing the glasses. So I'm going to cut the beginning, delete the start of it, move it forward a little bit. I want it to end there, and then select the back end of the clip and delete. And then I just want a section of this clip. So again, select the rest that I don't want and delete them. And then we can move all the footage back, again using the selection tool. And then the third main tool that you want to know as a complete beginner is the type tool, which is down here, or T on your keyboard. And this allows us to type whatever we want. So this could be like captions or just random information, just whatever text you want on screen. This is how you're going to do it. And this sets us up for our next section, which is our properties tab. So I have the effects window open. Again, if you don't see this, you can go up to window and then you would hit properties, but I already have it. So up here next to effects, I have properties, and this is where we can actually customize our text, or we can change the font, the color, the sizing, whatever we need. So I'm going to change the font. I love SF Pro. It's a font from Apple that you can download. I think it's just a super clean and minimalistic kind of font that just looks super good. So I want to move this down, double click to highlight whatever text we want, and then we can scale this up. And then I want to move this up a bit. And then I want to give it a shadow. So I'm going to bring up the distance a little bit, turn down the opacity, and then I'm going to move it to where I want by clicking and dragging these position points. And then just like that, we now have text. And so the properties tab is our first real kind of creative tab, if you will. But if we go back up to properties and go back to effects, this is kind of what it sounds like. This is where we start to add in our effects and transitions and things of that nature. So this first one, we have presets, and this is where I actually offered the editor's essentials on my website, justinlisby.com. I built this for creators as the essential presets that you absolutely need, that you don't see inside of Premiere natively. So I have some audio effects, we have some regular effects, some LUTs, which is color grades, and a whole bunch of movement animation presets. If you don't know, this is actually the best way to support me and my channel. I'm not even monetized yet as I'm making this, so I'm always using the editor's essentials in literally every single edit that I do. So if you are interested, again, that will be the top link of the description if you want to check it out. But for beginner's sake, I'm just going to use a transition that we already have inside of Premiere. So we can go down to video transitions, then maybe let's just try a slide or something. And all you gotta do is click and drag it onto the clips that you want. So we can see what that looks like. It's definitely a little bit too long, so you can click on it again and then you can just shorten it up a bit. And just like that, we have a transition. The next thing I want to do with this video is I want to apply a zoom out to all of our clips. So instead of having a zoom out on every single individual clip, we're going to do something called an adjustment layer. So if we go back to our project bin, right click, new item, and then we go to adjustment layer, we can then just hit OK, and then we have it. All we gotta do is drag and drop it on. And what this does is this allows us to apply an effect or something to everything beneath it. So you want your adjustment layer to be on the very top, and it's going to affect everything beneath it. So in this case, we have this text, the Premiere Pro 101, and our footage. It's going to apply it to both. So now to actually get our zoom out, we need to add something called a transform. So if we go back to our effects and we type in transform, it's going to be this one here under effects. And again, we just click and drag it onto the adjustment layer. And then you can see on the left, we have our effect controls. Because this is the zoom out, that's all I want to focus on for right now. So if we go under transform, again, that's what we just added. You then want to focus on scale. And if I click this, move it left and right, you can see that it zooms it in or out, but we actually want to create an animation for it. So I'm going to find a starting point that I like, probably something like a 125. And then I'm going to click this stopwatch, and that's going to create what's called a keyframe, which all that is essentially just a point that Premiere is going to remember. So that way you can create an animation and it kind of has like the beginning and end for it. And then I want to go to the very end of this clip, and then I want to turn the scale back down to, let's do 100 again. And so now we added it to the adjustment layer. So all these clips are affected and the text, and it's all zooming out. So the effect controls, you're going to be changing a lot of things in here whenever you're trying to do things like animations or tweak things like opacity, which is how visible things are, or if you want to do things like rotate or just general animation, you're going to be using the transform tool a lot, which I have tutorials on my channel if you want to check out. And then the last on our list is going to be understanding audio. These clips are essentially dead silent, so I'm going to drag on a song real quick. And so again, so you can see all I'm doing is just dragging it in to the timeline. And so now we have an audio track. I'm just going to cut it real quick and then move it up and then cut it at the very end. But as I play it back, you can see this moving, which is our audio levels. And down here at the left where it's green, that means it's quiet. And as it goes up towards the red, that's louder and louder. And so a side note for quality edits, you always want your audio to be as close to the red as possible without touching it, because it destroys the audio with clipping. So a good edit is going to be as close to it as possible, as consistently as possible. So a little cheat code is if you use something called a limiter. So if we go back to our effects and we type in limiter, you're going to see hard limiter, and we're going to drag that on to the audio that we want. And then you can go under individual parameters and change things, but I like to do the custom setup and press edit. And so we could turn this way up. The input boost is how many decibels you're increasing it by. So depending on the clip, I find myself increasing audio usually by 10 to 20 decibels usually. If you're not filming with like a professional mic, you might need to turn it up a little more, just experiment with it. And then the main thing is you want to set your maximum amplitude to somewhere around -1 or so. And so the maximum amplitude is essentially how loud it will max out at. So you're never clipping your audio, but you're turning up all the lows because of the input boost. So think of it as if you're talking really quietly into a mic and then you're yelling, a limiter is going to balance it all out and make them the same audio level. And again, because it's a song, we don't need it, but that's a little tip for you guys. And then I have a little peek here on this second clip when I'm grabbing the glasses. So if I just click on this white line and drag it down, that's going to mute it. Another way to do that is if you go back to the effect controls, you can just turn down the level. Sometimes it's just easier to do it one way or another. It just depends on the situation. So now let's see what we created. It's nothing fancy. This is just a tutorial showing you how to edit in Premiere, but it's enough to get all the main points across. Again, nothing fancy. We do better edits on the channel, I promise. But now it's time to actually export the video. If we go up here to the top and we hit this export tab, this now brings us up to the export window. So here we have the file name. This is where you're going to title it whatever you want. And the preset, I always just leave this as default. And then the format, I always personally set it to H.264. And so then if we click on video, if you want to export it as a certain dimension, you can change that here, uncheck this checkbox, and then we can change it to whatever we want. But that's 4K, 3840 by 2160. So I'm just going to leave it there. My frame rate, I always leave this at like 24 for YouTube videos. That's kind of the YouTuber's default, for lack of a better term. Also, if you're doing something for social media like Instagram or TikTok, I would set this to something maybe more so like 29 FPS, 2997, I believe is what it is. And the field order aspect, I don't ever mess with those. And then we want to click more. A couple things to note here. I always render at maximum depth, make sure that's checked, as well as the maximum render quality, just so this way you can get the most out of your footage in your video. And scrolling down, I always do a VBR2 pass. So it's going to go through your video twice again to extract as much quality out of it as it can. And then your target bitrate, if it's something like YouTube, I'd say 60 is fine. I would go more so like 40 if you're doing social media. You just don't want to make it too big of a file size to where a platform compresses it more and ironically makes it look worse. So just always think somewhere in like 40 to 60 is going to be good. And then that's everything that I do for exporting. So I just go down to the bottom right and press export. And so then it's going to go through and export our video. And so then just like that, I now have this video on our computer. So essentially that is everything that you need to know as a complete beginner in Premiere Pro. If you take these concepts and apply them, you will be able to create your first video. Editing can be time consuming, and especially in the beginning. So the best way to learn is just getting your reps in. And this channel is built around helping people save time while editing. So feel free to go check out my other videos if you want more tactical tips on how to improve your editing as well as save time. And again, I do offer the editor's essentials on my website, justinlisby.com, which is all the presets that I use in literally every single video that I create, and it saves me a radical amount of time. So that is the best way you can support me, and that would be a great tool to have for someone who's a complete beginner. But I'm going to leave a video on screen of the 5 best tips that I have learned to make the editing process easy. So that video is going to be on screen for you. So I appreciate you being here, and I hope to hear about you guys creating your first videos.